Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another Instant Deck Tech. So, as you know, Tuesday means Type 2 or Standard Tuesday, and we have a pretty spicy list today. So, if you keep track of the Standard meta, you'll know that two of the biggest, most popular decks in Standard are Green-Black Winding Constrictor and various Felidar Guardian, Saheeli Rai combo decks, like Jeskai Copycat. Well, Actually, I know who the someone is. It's a Magic League user by the name of Graco who played this deck to a second place finish in a Magic League event. But Graco took and decided that what's better than having two super sweet decks in Standard? Well, taking those decks and mashing them together into one. So today's deck, which I'm calling Snakes and Cats, is basically this weird mashup of a copycat combo deck, kind of like a Jeskai copycat deck or 5-color copycat deck, combined with the green-black Constrictor +1/+1 counter theme, and it is just really absurd. So, a quick reminder before we break it all down, if you enjoy this deck and you want to see it made into videos, take a minute, click the like button, the subscribe button, leave a comment, anything you can do to support your deck, because whichever deck is most popular gets a shot at being made into videos next week. So Snakes and Cats, as I mentioned a moment ago, is basically a mashup of a Winding Constrictor deck with a +1/+1 counter theme and an infinite copycat Felidar Guardian Saheeli Rai combo deck. On its face, you're probably thinking, how can this possibly work? On this one slide where we're showing the three key cards to the deck, Winding Constrictor, Felidar Guardian, and Saheeli Rai, we have all 5 colors. Somehow this deck is looking to get black-green on turn 2, into blue-red on turn 3, into white on turn 4, to have all the combos. And the weird thing is the combos don't necessarily synergize together. Like, Winding Constrictor doesn't really do anything with the Felidar Guardian combo. Felidar Guardian combo doesn't necessarily do anything with Winding Constrictor, but as we talk about the deck, you'll see there actually are some weird synergies that kind of emerge. So first off, we have the Winding Constrictor package. Winding Constrictor puts an extra counter on things. So we have Walking Ballista, which comes in with an extra counter. When you put a counter on it, you get even more counters. It can shoot stuff down. Works well with Rishkar, which puts counters on things. You can tap those things for mana. Can, of course, use that mana to play the copycat combo, sort of. And then Verdurous Gearhulk's a big payoff. Dump a ton of counters on a Walking Ballista and deal a ton of damage to something, or shoot down your opponent's board, or just go big and trample-y with the Gearhulk itself. So this is kind of part 1 of the deck. Then part 2 of the deck, we have the Felidar Guardian, which does some interesting things apart from the combo itself. So Rogue Refiner has a home in the 4-color copycat decks. It gets some energy, draws a card when it enters the battlefield, just a good value card. You can blink it with a Felidar Guardian, draw another card, get some more energy. Energy is actually relevant because you really want energy for your Aether hubs in the mana base. But as odd as it sounds, Felidar Guardian actually works pretty well with some of the +1/+1 counter themes. Like, blinking a Rishkar lets you put 2 more counters on things. And it's on curve with Felidar Guardian. Turn 3 Rishkar, put counters on a Walking Ballista or something. Then you can blink the Rishkar with Felidar Guardian, more counters. And then Verdurous Gearhulk getting blinked by Felidar Guardian is super awesome. You get 4 more counters, spread around however you want on your stuff. Both of those cards also work kind of well with Saheeli Rai. Like, Saheeli Rai's -2 copy a creature turns into get a 4/4 with trample and haste. It's going to go away at the end of turn and put 4 counters on things if you target it with a Verdurous Gearhulk. So there's just odd synergies built into the deck almost by accident. Since we have 5 colors, and we were talking about the crazy mana cost, we have the full 4 Oath of Nissas and 4 Attune with Aether that help us make sure we're hitting our land drops. Oath of Nissa finds us land in the early game. In the late game, we can find our combo pieces, Winding Constrictors, Verdurous Gearhulks, whatever we need. Plus, it's blinkable with our Felidar Guardian. Attune with Aether just searches out whatever basic land we need to be able to cast the stuff that's in our hand. And then, why not? Since we're playing every color imaginable, removal. We might as well play Unlicensed Disintegration as well. We don't have a ton of artifacts to trigger the damage, but we do have the Walking Ballistas. The mana bays, we have 4 Aether hubs, and then a ton of fast lands of all different colors, and then we have basics of each and every color: 4 forests, an island, a mountain, a plains, and a single swamp. In the sideboard, we actually have some removal, but we get 4 shocks, good against early game creatures, also breaks up the opponent's Saheeli Rai combo, Radiant Flames to wipe away the board against aggressive decks, Dispel and Negate to protect our combos. I guess our Saheeli Rai combo can also just disrupt our opponent, save our stuff from removal, a Verdurous Gearhulk, a Winding Constrictor, Natural State, and Appetite for the Unnatural to deal with our opponent's artifacts, and then Lost Legacy is kind of the end game against other combo decks, and that is Snakes and Cats for Aether Revolt Standard. And that's our instant deck tech for today, so thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you soon.